What made me apply for the Philharmonia's scheme was mainly because of the vast range of opportunities the scheme provides. I felt like the scheme would really help me bridge the gap between my conservatoire training and the actual orchestral profession, and making it much more of a reality to me rather than just like a prospect or a kind of ambition. Having one-to-one lessons with a mentor from the Philharmonia has been absolutely amazing. Having a mentor is really comforting in terms of if I ever feel like I need to have advice about anything that I may be unsure about. For example, with orchestral etiquette, I can always go and talk to my mentor about it, and the advice they give is amazing and really helps me to have a better understanding of how things operate behind the scenes.
Heidi, my mentor, is really encouraging, and she's been really supportive in making me decide how I want my one-to-one lessons to go. So she has suggested working on orchestral repertoire, but also if I have any other solo recitals coming up, and also other things that haven't anything to do with playing, so things like how to cope with nerves when performing. So getting that sort of information off her is going to really help me as a performer.
As a female timpanist and percussionist, there are some, but there's not loads. And there's definitely more in other genres, so it would be great to see more in the professional orchestra. I think the scheme would be great because you're tackling that from a roots level, because the world is like 50-50 women and men, so why is it not that in the orchestral profession? So yeah, I think it's great to build those skills young, because it's not necessarily people going in at the top level, putting people in just for the sake of it. It's more just building the skills and trying to let people grow into it organically. There's something about like women in society generally, like you sometimes don't take up space or don't have a loud voice, but with the timpani, like there's no way you can get away with doing that. So it's quite nice to just be there like, yep, this is my job and I'm going to do it.
I definitely feel the scheme is playing a part in helping giving opportunities to people from underrepresented backgrounds and making the prospect of them playing in mainstream orchestras much more of a reality. My hopes for the fellowship and beyond, I think in terms of the fellowship is really continuing to learn about how an orchestra works, what goes on behind the scenes, how I can feel the most comfortable when being on stage with world-renowned orchestras.
The skills that I'm learning on the ground are gonna like stand me in good stead for the rest of my career, hopefully. So it's all stuff that I'm gonna need to know.
I think the harp world can be quite lonely, so networking and connecting with as many professional harpists as possible and learning from them what they expect from me is really important in going forward in my career.
The most special thing that the scheme has allowed me to do is just being part of the orchestra and being welcomed and just be able to play alongside all the professional musicians in their workspace, and also have the opportunity to experience the different parts of being an orchestral musician, like doing outreach and everything, just dipping your toes into all the aspects of being an orchestral musician in England. To go on stage with the Philharmonia, it's a really surreal experience. I've lived here in London for like nearly all my life, and I've been to concerts at the festival hall many times when I was younger and like recently as well. But I never thought as a child when I was studying that I would ever like get to play with the Philharmonia Orchestra and like the legendary conductors.